Hello everyone, Silverstruck here. Welcome to the Silverstruck channel. This video is dedicated to obscure vintage bars that I hate loving. Wonderful bars, very frustrating for collectors simply because it's very hard to tell what you have. There's not a lot of information on these bars, definitely in terms of rarity or mintages, or in some cases, where or how these bars were made. So some of them are a mystery. And there's different levels of obscurity here, so I don't go too off the deep end with my obscure pickups, just refiners that aren't known hardly at all, like these three to the left. I do have these two bars to the right, which are brand new pickups, and these are Omega bars. So I wouldn't necessarily classify that as obscure. That's more of a lesser known refiner, but they are gaining steam here in the collector market, so I have noticed that. But the three to the left here are truly obscure bars and very scarce, and not very much information on them at all. So while I'm talking about bars that are obscure, your lesser seen stuff, I'm going to talk about lesser known resources. And one of the resources I've been using is vintagepouredbar.com. This is a resource where you can find some of these more obscure bars. Not so much in information, but at least pics, so you know that you're not the only one out there that has a bar like that. And I've been using vintagepouredbar.com in conjunction with AE, allingohard.com. Of course, AE is the major resource site that also lets you know rarity scales and mintages, so I find that very helpful. We don't know exactly how accurate that information is all the time, but it's definitely way ahead of what you're going to find out there for some of these other resources. So I always like to talk about AE, but we're not going to be talking about the big two, the major refiners here, Engelhard and Johnson Matthey. Those are the two most highly recognized refiners in the vintage world, and highly collected, and of course they do have more information on those refiners than virtually anything else out there, so that adds to the collectability of the bars, since you get to learn more about those particular types of bars. So without further delay, let's talk about the bars on the table here, and we're going to gravitate to the left-hand side, where I'm going to share with you some ASR bars. That's Alaska Smelting and Refining bars. Very little information out there on these. So here we have the first bar, 10 troy ounce, 3/9 fine. Maker's mark right there, along with the serial number towards the bottom. And this bar has a really cool dimple right there, you can see. And check out those pour lines right there by the word fine. Really, really cool. Nice bar, nicely done. Some pour marks here to the reverse. Beautiful bar. I think that's a serial number. I have really nothing to back that up, but neat bar. And that is the extent of what I can share with you for information on that bar, because that's really all that's out there. They did make the same weight bar, but in a different shape. And so here we have your more classic vintage shape here that you see a lot of other refiners use. Another 10 troy ounce bar, 3/9 fine, with a ASR right here. And as we flip this bar over, you can see on the top here, we have what is more than likely a serial number. But again, that's just kind of something that I've estimated. That's probably what that is instead of a lot number. And so there we have these two bars. Now, I was very happy to be able to locate this exact set of bars on vintagepouredbar.com. I'm going to show you a pic here. And here we have the exact two bars. Well, the exact bars, but not my bars. Different serial numbers. But it was really neat to be able to find the pair here. I have that same exact pair. And that's basically it. I don't have too much information on those, hence the love of these bars, and hating the fact that they can't really find much on there. Now, this next bar I'm going to share with all of you is even more obscure, and I picked it up a few weeks ago because I thought I knew what it was. So sometimes I'll pick up a bar that I kind of recognize something about and think it's going to be a variety of a certain bar, and I still think it is, but let's have a look at it. And I think some of you out there that are seasoned collectors may already have kind of an idea. You may have seen this design before. So here we have a worldwide precious metals incorporated bar, 3/9 fine. The 3/9 are in the center. the weight dead center, and of course it repeats itself on this end of the bar. And you can see this bar is a little bit bendy, how it came out of the mold. And if you're a seasoned vintage snacker, you would recognize this bar as an international bar. Everything about this bar screams international bar. The same stamping, same font, same weight right dead center, the same bendiness coming out of the mold. But yet this says Worldwide Precious Metals Inc. So what I'm thinking this bar is made by International, and it's a counter stamp to Worldwide. I've done tons and tons of Googling and research on this. I've looked at all the major auction sites, eBay, Mineral X, which is a auction site that I do like using, especially to scroll down in past auction history to be able to ID bars. So can find nothing. So I'm thinking that's an International with a counter stamp, but there's virtually nothing out there to be able to find that I could find. If you know something, of course, please leave that information in the comment section. And again, that's part of the frustration with obscure bars, is a lot of videos that I watch in vintage bars where it's an off refiner, if you will. Everyone does the same thing. Does anybody know anything? Basically is what you get. And oftentimes there's very little information out there to be had in the comment section. But anyway, if you do happen to know something, of course, let me know. Now, the next two bars are just really cool pickups, and you don't see these Omegas out there that often. It's one of the reasons why I like posting videos like this. It's really good collecting information. You may be able to use this video to recognize something out in the wild when you're in a coin show or your LCS or somewhere. So here we have a Omega bar. These are odd weight, and these are your later Omegas. So these aren't super old. They came later. Just a super chunky bar. So it says Omega Refining, 3/9 fine silver. You have the logo right there, and it's a 9.70 ounce bar. Really thick bar. And I was very pleased to find these not only on Mineral X, but I also found these on that resource I was mentioning, vintagepouredbar.com. So I'm going to go ahead and share a little quick pic of one of these bars on there for you. Now, this particular bar of the two has a pretty nice strike where the Omega Refining is. I'm going to check out this one right here. This is the next bar. And you can see it is a slightly weaker strike there. You can see where Omega is. Omega Refining, 3/9 fine silver. This one's 9.79 ounce. That's some nice character. Some nooks and crannies happening right there. And just a super cool bar in the hand. So, again, one of your lesser-known refiners, but definitely gaining steam out there in the vintage collector market. Now, you'll have to let me know in the comments section what your most obscure bar is in your collection. I'd love to know. And as always, thank you so much for watching.